You're rocking with some of the realest coaches in the game. Coach RB and Coach CB. Area code 459.
What up, area code 459? It's your boy, Coach B. I'm here with my co-host, Coach CB. What's up, CB?
What's up, Coach? How you doing?
Man, I'm fired up. Man. We got a special guest in the house, but before we get to our special guest, let's thank some people.
Man, we want to give a shout out to East Bay In-House Ink and J-May Crafts. They've done an amazing job getting our logo together, and most importantly, our gear. So if you guys want to represent area code 459, make sure you check out our store and go get you some gear to wear. And we couldn't have done any of this without all of the support with our friends and our family. Just want to give a huge shout out to them. Thank you so much for all of you've done for us. And then most importantly, God, for blessing us with this platform.
Man, I'm so fired up. Today we got a Topic Tuesday, and we got a special guest in the house, our friend Tiara Ceasar from the University of Florida. Go ahead and introduce our guest, Caitlin.
Man, Tiara Ceasar, she is one of my good friends from Panama City Beach, Florida. She was a volleyball star and a basketball player for her hometown. She could have gone Division I either way, but she chose her passion, which was volleyball. She went on to the University of Georgia, where she was runner-up for SEC Freshman of the Year. She was awarded SEC Freshman of the Week 7 times while she was there, being the leading freshman on the team and leading player for all offensive categories. She then decided to transfer her talents to the University of Florida. And let's welcome to the show, Tiara Ceasar. How you doing, T?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing great.
We're blessed. So glad to have you. Today we're talking about our Topic Tuesday, talking about overcoming adversity. I don't know another better person to have on this episode than you, Miss Ceasar. When I think about adversity, I think of something that holds you down or holds you back. Something like an injury, a bad grade, lack of confidence, and more. One thing my partner always tells me, Caitlin, CB, she said to me and to our listeners, she said, we are supposed to use these low points in life as lessons and not losses. Well, let me get to a person who knows winning all too often, because when you say T in the Panhandle, it's synonymous with winning. So, Miss T, first question for you is, being one of the top players in the Panhandle, would you say you were mentally stronger or physically stronger?
I think at the time I was mentally stronger. I think that my mental game helped drive me and push me a long way. I think it helped me overcome, as you were talking about, adversities as well. But I think now it's kind of flipped. I feel like if anything, I'm more physically stronger. You would assume so, especially when you get to college. You know, they're going to work you out. You're going to fill out with muscle. And I think coming over the adversities that I have, I think now I'm.
So when you say that you were mentally stronger back then, and then you got to college, they're going to beef you up, get a little bit strong, get a little bit bigger. When I played college football, we always talked about bigger, faster, stronger. We got to make you bigger so you can compete. Which one do you think you needed to work on more when you got to college?
I would say both, but over time it became more my mental more than anything.
Okay, cool.
I love that you talk about that, because I know from knowing you throughout high school and everything that you started playing volleyball when you were really young. And I read an article and it was talking about how you were 8 years old and you used to play 14U volleyball. And I think that that's a testament to, one, the people surrounding you to push you to be better than you were every day. Also, but to your drive and your determination. How did this early stage of adversity, when it came to playing against older people, prepare you for what was to come in your career?
I think it made me more competitive, honestly. Fun fact, it wasn't that I made the 1400s team. It was that there wasn't a team for my age, and that was the only team available for me to even play on. But I think at the time, I think I've always been pretty competitive. I think having an older brother helped me with that. But I think if anything, it made me headstrong, and it made me want to work twice as hard because the girls were older than me.
Mm. So I think all of us have had that situation, because I didn't have any older brothers, but I had an older sister. So it was more about like the education for her standpoint, not more athletics, but she also taught me like, this is who we are. This is our name. We're going to be this. We're going to be that. So it was always pushing me to drive and be strong and be tough. We're sitting right here in the presence of, like CB said it in the opening, like one of the top panhandle players in high school, one of the top freshmen in the country in the SEC, and now you're back at home with the Florida Gators. What are some of the physical demands on a Division I athlete, and then what are some of the mental demands on a Division I athlete?
I think one of the biggest physical demands is just the fact that we're constantly on go, meaning we may have workouts in the morning and then we may have to go to class, whereas now because of COVID, everything is pretty much on Zoom call. But at the same time, it's so rigorous because we still have tutoring over Zoom. We still have to make sure that we go to class. And I think also we're expected to give 110% in practice as well. I just think recovery becomes a big deal in college. I think in high school, I didn't realize that was going to be a change. Staying up, watching movies late in the morning, I cannot do that now, because if I don't get rest, my body is just fatigued. And I think that that's the physical strain on a D1 athlete. I think the mental comes in with us having to not only be required of this in our athletics, but also within the outside world as well, or whether that's with like our nutrition or school or just anything that we have outside of sports. I think is trying to maintain relationships with people. It may not be a factor for on the court, but it's also important off the court, especially in the sport that I play. So.
Right. And I like how you bring in the outside factor of like everything that's outside of school and volleyball, because like competing against you in high school, everybody already knew that TR Ceasar was it. Like you were going to go play high level college sports, whichever one you decided to choose. And when a talent like yours is so evident, like everybody wants a piece of the pie. Like everybody wants to tell you what to do, to correct you, to have a say so in your coaching and how you play. But I know this can be super overwhelming at times. How were you able to filter through all of the voices and then keep your mind focused on those that you trusted?
Well, first off, thank you for the compliment. And secondly, I think everybody believes in something. I'm one of those people who believes in God. I'm a very religious-based person. So for me, I knew I had talent. I never once thought I was the best. So for me, I think knowing that God gave me the ability that I have to play volleyball is kind of how I would say remain humble, or how you said filter through all of that. I think it's just more so like, yeah, people can say you were born with that talent, but those who believe in God like I do, I feel like that came from Him. That's not something, obviously I did work hard to get where I am, but I just feel like I'm a faith-based person. And because of all the adversity I've had to go through, the one person who I do call upon is Him. I am very big on prayer. And I think because of that and me staying true to that, that helped me stay close to the ones that I trust. Not that I didn't trust very many people at the time, but I just think it kind of helped me stay grounded and stay who I am. So.
Man, I like that you talked about staying grounded, staying rooted, staying based in something, because one thing I used to leverage when I used to coach high school was, believe in something or fall for anything, and you have to believe in something. You have to believe in the track and the path that you're on. And I know that you have God-given talent, but at the same time, I know how hard you work. Like I was in the gym with you when you were, a young lady, not even in high school yet, and you're playing on older teams, and you guys are grinding 3-4 matches a week, a day in the weekend. You have 8-10 matches on the weekend, then you have to go to school all week. So I understand that those pressures and all that hard work you put in and staying grounded is such a big deal. My senior year of college football, I was actually 23. So like you said, you're an adult now. You have so many things that are a lot different than when you were in school. And shout out to you saying this as well. And if our young listeners are hearing, you better check what she said. You can't stay up in the middle of the night, eat pizza and bonbons and expect to get up and perform the next day. That's not real. That's not real. And I know so many kids in high school that still do that. But how do you manage all those outside events and life while continuing to create success on the court and in school?
I would say not procrastinating and trying to prioritize my time. Obviously, I'm sorry, I cannot get this word out. But I am not going to sit here and say that I have never procrastinated a day in my life. I have definitely procrastinated. But I think I have done a much better job prioritizing my time, making sure that I'm doing A, B, and C. That way I can do this that way I can go out and maybe hang out with my friends on the weekends, or especially when we're not in season, it's easier to do that. But when we are in season, and say I do want to maybe go out to eat, or which is pretty limited right now, but at the time, like, I just try to make sure that I had this squared away, whether that's getting my homework done, getting my studies done, that way I can go and play later. But I know it's easier said than done. I just think it depends on one's schedule and how willing they are to sacrifice certain things.
Man, students, listen to what she said. Prioritize what you do. It's so important. Prioritize. I'm a grown man in my 30s and I still live on a calendar. Trust me, it's something that is going to be something that you use and you will use in life. So good job. Go ahead, CB.
Yeah, prioritizing your time is very important, especially when it comes to being able to schedule your time. You know, a lot of times as student athletes, everything gets scheduled for us. But if we learn early how to schedule our time, then we'll be a lot better off in the long run. But I want to talk a little bit about your injury. I know in high school, your junior or senior year, you're playing volleyball and you tore your ACL. And I know that can be very hard. I had knee surgery about 3 years ago, and when you can't do something that you love, and that the love that you have is also the place where you go release and allow the world to fade away, it can be very hard, and it threw me kind of into a state of depression. And I didn't know how to handle not being able to be active and get around as easily as I wanted to. Can you talk a little bit about your injury and how it affected you, and then what did you learn from it?
Okay, so I did tear it my senior year. It was actually the very beginning. I think it was 2 games into my senior year, and then I tore it at a tournament. Kind of like you said, I would say that I was in a state of depression as well. I did a better job I don't know how you put on the face, but a lot of people didn't think that I was depressed because I tried to put on this smile for everybody, and also tried to put on a smile for myself, because I think one thing I knew, even though I didn't want to admit at the time, is it could have been a lot worse than what it was. You know, some people, especially women, when stuff like that happens to our bodies, it's really hard to come back from. And I think when it first happened, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get the surgery. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be me again. I'm gonna be Tiara. But that's actually not what happened. I think I had surgery, and then the next day I had therapy and had to start rehab. And it was just the most grueling pain I think I had felt ever. And I think that's when I started to get those doubting thoughts, like, oh man, like this is going to be a long ways away from me getting back on the court. And because I am a pretty spiritual, religious person, I questioned God. I questioned a lot of things. I questioned my body. How did this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? And I think one day, and it was actually after when I started playing again, when I got cleared, it didn't hit me through the rehab process. It hit me after, maybe this happened for a reason. It's something I can't explain. But, I think if one thing is taught me, it's nothing is ever as bad as it seems, but also anything is possible. Because when I just got cleared to play, it was 3 days before my first game in college. And that first week back, I actually got SEC Freshman of the Week. And I think that kind of just helped me get some confidence back. I don't think a lot of people realize that confidence is something that really can help someone play better, maybe do better, whether that's in their job or as an athlete. And I think that just helped me see, you know, like, it is possible. I am going to be TR again someday. It may not be right now, and I may not be completely back, but I know that I will again eventually. I think that that's what it taught me. Sorry for the long answer, but.
No, you good. We got plenty of time, and trust me, I wrote that down. Nothing is as bad as it seems, and anything is possible. I'm gonna have to write that down. I'm stealing that. You know where it came from. I'll make sure I put it in quotations for compliance reasons. Anyway, I'm glad that you said that you were going to be TR again, because I mean, when you watch women's sports, you know, or when you watch, you know, males play basketball, you're looking for the highlights, like the dunks and, you know, the crossovers and stuff. And then when you watch women play basketball, you know, you kind of watch a more methodical game. But when you played the game of basketball, it looked exactly like your volleyball. Yeah, and I'm not going to disrespect the game of volleyball, so I'm going to call it I believe you guys call it a kill, right? So when, you know, gets up there to sets TR, she kills the ball. I mean, that was what your blocks look like on the basketball court. So it was always like a translation, and we as fans would be like, man, that's Wonder Woman out there, man. You know, she's doing her thing. You just took us through, you know, the doubt and the situation of, you know, questioning yourself and going back to rehab. What are maybe some skills that you might have learned mentally from that process that you use now in your recovery process when you play volleyball now? Because obviously the best way to not re-injure yourself is to continue to progress and get better and get stronger, and to make sure that you're rehabbing or recovering every day. So what mentally have you learned from that process that you carry to your game today?
So the one thing that we go over a lot in college is visualization. Obviously, I'm not a sports psychologist, but from my knowledge and what we've went over is that visualization actually is one of those things that can really help an athlete come back from an injury, especially one like an ACL tear. So I think for me at the time, I didn't even realize that it was a skill that I was learning how to do. But I just remember every day visualizing what I was going to look like when I played again. And the only reason I say like I attempted to do it is because at the time, the only thing that I could visualize was me re-injuring my knee. I wasn't good at visualizing. I didn't even want to do it anymore at a certain point because I felt like it was getting rhetorical. But I think the more I try to visualize myself not getting hurt and being physically strong and knowing that I can trust my body, trust my legs, I think that's one skill not only that I try to work on then, but I've actually been working on now to this day. Because actually when I got to Florida, I had a rod put in my leg and my left leg. I had just some stress fractures. And I think because I'd already been down that path once already, I think I knew what to do the next time it happened. So I think visualization and just trying to train myself mentally to be more neutral rather than just everything's going to be okay, or it's going to happen again, rather than just being positive or negative, just trying to see, okay, this is what happened. Let's just have a neutral mindset and let's try to visualize the things I know that I can do. So, yeah.
Wow, that's really powerful, because like they always teach you, especially it's big with quarterbacks, is to go and take time to visualize yourself making all of the routes, looking at all of the checkdowns that you have against the defense, and making sure that you know how to play the game of football in your head. So when you go out on the field, it'll get a lot easier and you start to react to what's thrown at you. And I love that you use that visualization tool, because it is very important that we see ourselves healed and we believe that the healing is coming, and we see ourselves strong and put together, because like you said, it threw you into a state of depression. To pull yourself out, I think it's important to see ourselves healing and growing and getting stronger and being able to do the things that we love again, because if not, then we can get stuck. But I know, like, not only were you going through that rehab process, but you early enrolled at the University of Georgia. And also I know that as you're transitioning into that, which is a lot in itself, you had a whole coaching staff change. So the people that recruited you, they were no longer at Georgia, and they brought in a whole new staff. So you were in a new environment physically, a new environment mentally, and a new environment when it came to athletics. Can you tell us how you were able to kind of go through that whole process and then build those new relationships? Because I know it's super hard when you already have trust in somebody and now they're no longer there and you have to build trust with somebody new. So how were you able to build relationships with these new people and go through that whole process again when it came with your new coaches?
Well, at first, I was a little shocked. Obviously, I wasn't ready for that, prepared for that. But I think the one thing I just thought, okay, well, let's just try to be open-minded about it. I had actually, my freshman year, had a coaching change in high school. So I had already been through that before. So I had already kind of knew how to deal with this again. I think the difference being, as you said, I had the ACL tear. So my first thought was, this coach is not going to want me anymore. I may not be what he's looking for. I don't know the kind of players he's looking for. But in all actuality, that coach had a lot of faith in me. He had full faith in me when I didn't have faith in myself. He still accepted me knowing the ACL tear, knowing that I was going to have to come in early in rehab. I think he helped take pressure off of me that I felt already going into the new atmosphere. And I feel like that coaching staff just kind of made the transition very easy. They were also very supportive of my rehab. And sometimes when you are rehabbing, you are taken away from your teammates because you have to go through physical therapy. But I think he did a great job of making sure that I could have physical therapy while being at practice in the gym and seeing my teammates as well and them seeing me doing my exercises. So it was a really good transition.
Man, when I was a teacher, we used to talk about the 8 keys of character, and you have those, you establish those 8 keys of excellence all the time. And I really like how you keep talking about past experiences, how past experiences have not only, they've not only been, down times and low points, but they've also been lessons. We used to say back when I used to teach, failure leads to success. So if something hinders you or something holds you back, you could take those past experiences and then you can make them into lessons. One thing that I like to always talk about, you were talking about visualization. I always talk about Jeremiah 29:11, for God has a plan for you. And that is such a powerful voice for me, because I always think when visualization, if there's something that I might not understand, or if there's something that might be going as a low point in my life, I always look at the other side of, hey, what's on the other side of this storm? We're all from the Panhandle. We've seen Hurricane Michael. We've had families and friends that's gone through it, but we always look at what's on the other side of that storm. So, listeners, if you're listening to Tiara and Miss Ceasar today, please just take that nugget that she's dropping you about visualization. We just finished our culture series here at 459. And we talked about the injustices of this country and how we must educate and reflect in ways to get better. And how do you think dealing with your mental and physical adversity can help you with conversations for growth in social justice?
That's a great question. I think, for starters, kind of like I said before, nothing is ever as bad as it seems. I think that sometimes people can forget, especially with the social injustices going on right now, that someone's situation is always worse than yours. And I think that instead of us saying all the time, well, I don't understand or I don't know, try to educate yourself. Try to put yourself in people's shoes, show empathy. I think that you guys have really helped boost some of my confidence, like how y'all introduced me. I just think like that right there, I feel like y'all have seen what I went through. I've played against her. You've coached against me, and it's like y'all have seen it, and I feel like you guys have shown empathy for me, and I think that's how you guys can have this conversation with me, and it can be so intimate because you are trying to be sensitive to my situations that have happened. And I think that if people can do that more and be sensitive to others and empathize what these people are going through, such as Black Americans right now, I think that that'll also help with the social injustices going on.
I appreciate your comments, and I can't really speak for Caitlin, but I'm going to speak for area code 459. That's what this is about. This community was built to be around people that we love and to spread our love to inspire others. So if you look at the mission statement or follow us on Instagram, listen to our episodes on YouTube or on Spotify, you'll get that from us. That's what we're all about. We're all about love, and we're all about each other's stories and leveraging what we've gone through, because like you said, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Guess what? Somebody's been through something physically. Somebody's been through something mentally that could probably help you get through your adversity that's in your life. Go ahead, CB.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like, that's exactly why we built this platform. Is we want to love people and build a place where people can come and love themselves, love others, hear, listen, understand, use other stories. Like I always say, don't discount your value. Like, everybody has something to add. Everybody goes through something. I always use the stained glass picture that God gave me, and each piece has a piece and a moral to the story. And when you add it all together, like, it creates who you are, and God will shine a light through each piece, each color, whatever it is, to shape and impact somebody else. But one thing that I want to talk about is leadership. And like, you've always been a leader in the community, especially now doing what you do. You also play overseas with USA Volleyball, so you get to represent our country, which is a big status and a big sense of responsibility as well. But you wear it well, and you make us all proud. But how did this adversity help you when it came to developing your leadership skills and being a leader for everyone around you?
I think it helped me empathize for others. I think sometimes people don't know the actual definition of a leader. I still am learning the definition of a leader, but one thing I know about being a leader is, how do you get others to follow you? And I know one thing that helps that is by showing empathy for your people, for whether that's my team, my peers, whoever it is. If you can be willing to have these hard conversations with others and be vulnerable to others, they're likely to be vulnerable with you as well. I have came a long way with that. I am not one to like to be vulnerable at all. My college coach can tell you that right now. But I think just knowing, like, I've went through experiences, she's probably gone through something, he's probably gone through something. I think that that's what helped me be a leader, because it's helped me become more open-minded and try to be more understanding of others, while also knowing, I do have this chip on my shoulder, that I do have these people looking up to me. Although it's not about, how I look in other people's eyes, it is about how am I leading my people. And I think that the big thing by that is me being able to be open-minded with them and being able to empathize with them and try to be in their shoes. Kind of goes hand in hand with the last question that he just asked me.
Good. Well, man, that is so powerful. And that is so powerful. And we are just so blessed to have you once again. Anytime we can give anybody from our area, anybody from our profession, anybody from our circle a platform, we'd love to do it. At the end of our episodes, T, we come to a huddle. You've been in plenty of huddles. I've seen you play basketball. I've seen you play volleyball. You guys huddle up after every point. I know that you guys have been in huddles. And, it's just to refocus or to give a call out to something that we want our listeners to have. We call this huddle up time our call to action. And we're actually going to call, some things to action, and you could call something to action for our listeners, just something that they could take away from this episode as they're listening. CB is going to start. We'll let you go, and then I'll wrap it up. Go ahead, CB.
I want you to think back to 3 times that you had adversity in your life, and then write down 2 lessons that you learned, or two things that you took away that helped you grow and become a better person.
All right, T, you up.
Wait, you want me to answer that?
No, you get the call. You get the call to action. Something that you want our listeners to take from your talk today.
I would say, I think maybe, I don't know. That's I feel like what she just said is something I would definitely say.
Then re-say it then. We'll take it.
Maybe, say if someone has ever, experienced an injury or a trial and tribulation, what is the one thing that can help bring you back to you? Because obviously it's going to be a shock. You're not going to be expecting it. I would just say, try to think about what can help bring you back. Mine was prayer. For someone, it may be going on a walk or calling your mom or something. Just, I would say, what helps you come back to you, to your core?
Man, that wasn't so hard. See, you're good at this. You're good at this. You're good at this. Make sure we invite you back. My call to action is I'm going to actually take it from Miss Tiara. She said, nothing is as bad as it seems and anything is possible. And I'm going to take the anything is possible route. And I'm going to say, let's work on visualization. Go somewhere, find a place, quiet, where you can visualize. But I don't want you to visualize on things that have been hindrance to you. I want you to visualize of where you're going. And then if you have that visualized to the end road, I feel that you will leverage all of the losses, or what we like to call it 459, the lessons to get you to that end goal. So like I said, visualize that end goal and then take the steps to get there. Tiara, it's been great having you. I'm super blessed. I'm super glad to see your face again. I cannot wait to watch the Gators play volleyball. I know you guys come on Sunday, so I'll wipe my eyes, make sure that I'm watching you guys on the SEC network. I do got it on my cable, watching you guys on a Sunday. We like to leave everybody with our motto. So I'm going to put you on the spot again. What is your motto you like to tell your team when you go into practice or leave practice?
Be better than you were today, tomorrow, or be better than you. You know what I'm trying to say.
I like that. All right. Get him, Caitlin.
Don't discount your value, and remember, let's get 1% better every day.
That's right. That's right. And mine is going to be nothing is as bad as it seems and anything is possible. And remember, Coach B loves you. Let love be the frequency. I'm out. Peace.